and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be testing out and reviewing the new Stellar Limitless Concealer. Now Stellar is a new cosmetics brand exclusive to Sephora, and I was doing a little bit of research on it myself. I usually do, and this one was very interesting and very intriguing. I kind of wish that I would have also purchased the foundation so that I could test them both out, but I am still planning on purchasing the foundation and testing it out in a separate video. But the reason why I found it particularly interesting is because of the backstory behind this cosmetic line. Now, this cosmetic line was made by Monica Dowell. She is an Indian-born, Canadian-raised television personality. And I'm looking down because I'm reading straight from the Sephora website. That's where I read a little bit of her background. She has long felt that medium skin tones are overlooked by traditional brands. Knowing she's part of the fastest growing demographic in North America, Monica created Stellar. This line of high performance makeup offers addictive colors and sensual textures for every skin tone, and it over delivers to medium range skin tones, something that Monica feels has been MIA from the beauty industry for too long. And you know, once I read that, I thought to myself, it's pretty accurate, at least for me. I mean, I feel like I obviously have medium skin tone, and I sometimes find it really hard to find a foundation that suits my skin tone perfectly. That's not to say that I've never found a foundation that I feel suits me. I feel like there are some, but it is difficult. I either find that they're too cool for my skin tone or that they're too warm, like excessively warm to where my skin looks orange, which I definitely don't want. But then if I choose something that's a little bit more on the cool side, not so orange, then it doesn't match. It's too pink for me. So it is hard for me to find foundation shades. That's why when I'm asked about my foundation shades in different brands, I'm like, should I really let them know what I feel I match to? Because I don't necessarily feel that I 100% match to that foundation shade. It's just what best suits me out of everything that they have, out of all the shades that they have. So I'm really excited. I kind of wish that I would have also purchased a foundation. So now that we've covered kind of like their background story, it's time to get into details regarding this little concealer here. What it is, straight from the Sephora website, it's an advanced concealer that hides imperfections and leaves skin looking radiant. What it does, it combats dark circles using light refraction and provides hydration without settling into fine lines, resulting in ultimate eye radiance. It's incredibly lightweight, and it's not just limited to the eye area. You can also apply it to the brow bones, the cheekbones, the nose, and Cupid's bow for a subtle lift and glow. The product is vegan, cruelty-free, and free of fragrance and mineral oil. So if you don't like oils in your products, or if you don't like any kind of fragrance in your products, I know that some people are particularly sensitive to that, this might be a good option because it doesn't have any of that. For today, I grabbed the shade SO3, which I don't believe has a particular name. It's just SO3. So that is what I'm going to be working with today. Per usual, I am going to be wearing this concealer with and without a color corrector to see exactly how it wears throughout the day, with and without. I know it states that the formula is meant to not crease in fine lines. I'm still going to set it just a little bit underneath the eye area with my RCMA loose powder, just to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere throughout the day, since I am planning on wearing this for a good 8 hours. So now I'm just going to simply jump off camera, apply some color corrector only to the right under eye area, and some foundation onto the rest of the face, and I will be right back in order to conceal. Okay, so now I am back with foundation on and color corrector on just the one side. As far as how to use the product, it says that you should apply it with a dense brush and stipple along under the eye, blend and smooth, starting inside and moving to the outer corners. Allow to set for 30 seconds, then apply more product where needed in a patting motion. Let it set and finish with Cosmic Face Powder. If you need a touch-up, pat more product on with Baby Finger. Innovative formula is buildable and seamless. So it is buildable as you're applying, and it's also buildable throughout the day, which I find very interesting. So yeah, we'll see how it works. Opening it up, it does come with a little like two-sided, somewhat of a doe foot applicator. It's just like flat on one side, flat on the other. So I'm going to be using this brush in order to apply the concealer underneath the eye area before I blend it out using my damp beauty blender. This brush is my Sigma P84. It is a precision round brush. Instead of using just this and going like that, I'm going to apply some of the product onto the back of my hand, like that. pick it up with this brush and then stipple it onto the under eye area. I'm going to start with the right side. I'm assuming they want you to use a dense brush because that way you're going to apply more product underneath the eye instead of having the product be completely absorbed by the brush and not getting much of anything underneath the eye area. Okay, so now that that is on there, I'm going to blend it using my damp beauty blender from inner corner to outer. I really like the way that that concealed. I like the way that that blended out. But I do feel like I need a little bit more coverage, so I'm just going to let that set for 30 seconds while I do the other side and then come back to it in order to build up the coverage. And I did forget to mention, this concealer comes in 6 different shades. It retails for $27 US, and you get 0.2 fluid ounces. I usually say that at the beginning, but I think I was just too caught up with talking about the backstory. So apply it, blend it out from inner corner to the outer part. Okay, so now it's been about 30 seconds. This should have set by now. I'm going to go ahead and apply some more product onto the right under eye area. And I'm also going to apply more product on the left. I just always have a hard time. This inner part of the under eye area always shows through. Okay, now that that's done, move on to applying more on the non-color corrected side. So I must say that it blends out super, super easily. You don't really have to work with it too much in order to get a really nice blended under eye area. Okay, so I feel like I've gotten pretty good coverage on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and set the under eye area now using a little bit of translucent loose powder and just applying it with my damp beauty blender, shaking off the excess. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead and set the under eye area, I'm going to zoom you all in so that you can get a better look after initial application. Okay, so here is the under eye area after initial application. It blended out really, really well, but I just don't feel like I'm getting enough coverage like here or here. I guess I could have gone back and added a little bit more, but I felt like 2 layers was enough. But we'll see how it wears throughout the day. Okay, so now that you've seen the under eye area up close, I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so now I am back with a full face of makeup and we'll see how it wears throughout the day. That's all I'm going to say for now. We'll see how it wears. It is currently 11:50 in the morning, so I will try to check back at around the midday mark, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, somewhere around that time. So yeah, I'll see you all back here really soon. Okay, so now I am back for a midday check-in. It is currently 3:31 p.m. So I've had this on for almost 4 hours. And I'll just go ahead and zoom you all in so that you can get a better look at the under eye area after roughly 4 hours of wear. Okay, so this is what the under eye area looks like after roughly 4 hours. It looks a little bit settled. It has definitely settled into my fine lines, even though I did set it a little bit with some translucent powder. It definitely did settle. It looks a little bit separated and kind of like it's just worn off here and here. And yeah, it's not really concealing much at this point. Okay, so that is where we are at here midway. As you can see, it's just not wearing the best. But, you know, I did read when we first started that you can build it up even throughout the day. Like you can go back and like do touch-ups, if you will. So that is what I'm going to do. Touch-ups with my baby finger. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the concealer onto the back of my hand, grab a little tiny layer with my baby finger, and then just try to apply it here. It's really hard to get the opposite eye with your dominant hand. Okay, Okay, and you know what? Surprisingly, that did work. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to zoom you all in again so that you can see what it looks like after me just kind of touching up with a little bit of the concealer. Okay, so this is what it looks like after dabbing a little bit more of the concealer on top, and I'm not going to lie, I am quite surprised as to how well that worked. I wouldn't have expected it to blend in as well as it did, especially because I did set it with a powder, and you know, if we know anything about makeup is that you don't put anything on top of powder, otherwise it's going to look cakey and it's just not going to look very good. But it didn't do anything. It didn't make it look worse. If anything, it absolutely helped make it look better. So yeah. Okay, so that is where we are at now. We'll see how well this wears. I am like halfway tempted to put some more setting powder on top of it, otherwise I know it's gonna crease, but I already have 2 layers of concealer, powder, and then another layer of concealer. So I don't want to keep on adding to it because it's just going to, I just don't want to keep adding to it. So I'm not going to add on anything. I'm just going to leave it like this and see how it'll wear with just this throughout the remainder of the day. So I am planning on finishing off my day at around 7 o'clock, 7:30, something like that. So I will see you all back here at the end of the night. Okay, so now I am back for my final check-in. It is 7:15. So I am short. I'm a little short of a full 8 hours. But honestly, I've had such a horrible makeup day. Like, you know those days where you just feel like your foundation doesn't feel right, your concealer doesn't feel right, your eyeshadow, like everything. It's just like, I can't wait to wash this off tonight. So that's why I'm pulling the plug a little bit earlier than I was anticipating. But before I move in to give you my final thoughts on the concealer, let me pull you close. Let me show you up close exactly what it looks like underneath the eye area after almost 8 hours of wear. Okay, so this is what the under eye area looks like after 8 hours, or almost 8 hours. As you can see, it kind of broke up right here, and it broke up right here. It did collect on every little nook and cranny underneath the eye area. And it's not really doing much as far as concealing at this point. So as you can see, the concealer just unfortunately did not work out for me today. And I hate the fact that it didn't because it looked so promising. It looked so good when I first initially applied it and blended it out. It looks really good, and I wish that it would stay looking that way throughout the day. But that's why I test these products throughout an entire day, because just because they look good at the beginning, just because you initially applied it and you're like, sold, it looks amazing, doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily wear that way throughout the entire day, which, I mean, I've seen it a lot of times happen where I'm really happy with the way that it applies and the way that it initially looks, but then throughout the day it's just kind of disappointing. And this product, I mean, unfortunately was, and I say unfortunately because I really love the whole concept behind this brand. I like that she's trying to cater to more medium skin tones, undertones that can't necessarily be matched with cool or, you know, warm, that needs something different, because I feel like I have that struggle sometimes depending on what brands I'm looking at. So yeah, I like the whole concept, and I'm really, really saddened by the fact that it did not work out for me. But I mean, I did try it. I tried it the way that the website states that you should try it. I tried it for a full day. I even tried to, you know, touch up throughout the day, and it's just, unfortunately, no. So those are my thoughts on this concealer. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video review and that you found it helpful. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye.